Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming and continuing to play Age of Wonders Planetfall. Not exactly continuing from the last video because that was very much a kind of tutorial of menus, and I'm going to start this video. I'm going to be going into an actual campaign of another theme on that, which I said originally when I did the first videos for this game. And having played this game a lot, and I went into describing some of the menus that I didn't understand in the last video, if you saw it, and I set up today to start a new game, just because I decided that continuing from the last series I was playing, the last point I saved, I think it was just going to be confusing because I couldn't really show how to set up the way I've learned now. And I've added DLC content, so I thought, okay, I'll start a whole new game. But as I said at the beginning of the whole of these videos and last time, I think it's still a confusing game to kind of set up. And I've played this a lot now, and I've investigated the systems, because here we have My Galactic Empire, which is the 3 saved planets, and I can't add to that, so I can't do that. I get that, but then you've also got. And I assumed it would be new campaign if I wanted to start a kind of new playthrough just to do on this channel, but it kind of tells you which you want to add. I guess that means you add that DLC in with your playthrough, but then it also just gives you that, instead of the option to pick a world. So that's a bit odd. I don't know quite what that means. It doesn't really explain what that is. Maybe it's the thing I've done before, but it's a bit... And then you've also got, in the My Galactic Empire, you can create a new empire over here, which would allow you, I assume, to start a new whole empire, and you've got new planet. So there's quite a lot of different options for starting. And it doesn't quite have that thing where you kind of hope there'd be a little pop-up box to tell you this is to start a new. It doesn't tell you that. And even now, having played it a while, I can't quite fathom out what the difference between new campaign, which would be that, and it just gives you that one option, and new planet. But the new planet's not going to add to your empire, because I can't add a planet in the empire. So what is that? Just a planet kind of for the sake of a planet that's not in your empire? I don't know. Anyway, we'll do it with new planet. Imperial world, that sounds thing, it's recommended, and we'll just see where we go with this. The reason I did it as a new game is because I wanted to show you the select commander part, and that's why I wanted to start a new game, because that's the thing I didn't do last time. So when you get the select commander, you have all these options. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, so it's a learning curve, and you're learning with me. So when you do a new planet, it doesn't give you the option to use any of the commanders you've already made. You can custom one, I assume, which is a bit odd. Like, you custom them in your empire, but then you come to this new planet thing option, but then you have to custom a new one. But then if you're not creating an empire, you'd just be customing one to play in this playthrough, I guess. So okay, we'll do that, because that's part of what I wanted to do. All secret text fine. Okay, we're gonna do it like this, if that's how they want us to do it. We do void tech. Perks will be the ones that they recommend, because I have no reason not to go with them. Appearance, we'll do a little bit with that. Won't go mad. Yeah, that looks nice. Posture, I don't really care. Head, we can change a bit. Yep. Skin texture, we'll go with that. Skin decoration, don't worry. Eyes, I don't think matters, so we don't worry about that. Hair, jaw, we won't care. Hair colour, yeah, we'll care a little bit about that. We do. No, I don't like that. We'll do that colour here. I like that colour. Torso. No, I don't like that leg. It looks like she's even though they're kind of cyborgs, I don't know why one of her legs would be like a really obvious cyborg. Oh, that's a bit strange. Anyway, we'll go with that body. Move that strange leg thing. That's better. Head item. Have we got anything cool? Let's see. Not the hood. We don't like that. Oh, I like that weird crown thing. We'll definitely go with that. Might worry about that. Cape. Doesn't matter much, does it? But yeah, we'll just go with a normal thing. Skin colour. We'll go with what it is.
Greetings, emissary of the Assembly.
Okay, so
Destruction breeds creation. That is certain. From the ruins of the Empire, your unique kind has emerged. You forged unity by merging with machines and transplanting the body parts of your enemies. Before you reassemble this entire shattered galaxy, remember that every world has life worth preserving.
They are very much like the Borg, aren't they? Even in looks.
Resistance.
Okay, so yeah, I think this game's got a lot of options. Now I understand the character creation for your empire. I like that option. I like the fact that you can create different looks and you can have different commanders. And you can, once you've created, like I said in the last video, once you've created quite a few, they'll come in as your natural options when you get new leaders to pick. But it will be slightly helpful, and I said this at the very beginning of the first video I did for this game, and I'll still say it now, if they had a little pop-up box which explains what some of these starting points are, like new planet, so it's just a planet, and what's new campaign and new empire. If you start a new empire, does it cancel off your old empire? There's quite a lot of things. It would just be nice to have that one pop-up box where it tells you something. Anyway, there we are. I forgot to change the colour of my empire, but purple is good. We'll go with that. So here we are. We're at our capital, as before. There is our leader. Like I said, if you watched the other video last time, I like this cyborgy synthesis one. Actually, it's not called synthesis. I can't remember what it's called. And I like the Void Tech option. It seems to fit with that. But there's many options in this game where you can mix and match races and abilities and techs, and they'll all match up in different ways. It depends what you want to do and how you want to play it. And I'm nowhere near matching all the different techs and options. So let's see what's around here. Like I said, always remember not to click on your own unit, because then you'll go off running off somewhere. What I usually do when I start this game, because we know we've got a reasonably good army, I'll attack the nearest, like, weak raider. So we'll just run there. And then we've got our kind of, it's not, but it's a scout thing. So we'll go and pick up some stuff, because it's free. We can make another of those. It's not a scout at all, it's something you might use in an army, but because it flies and it floats and it moves quickly, I use them predominantly as scouts. So we'll make another one of those. And
our colonies.
Yeah. We can upgrade the commander, but we'll worry about that in a moment. So there you go, we're off. And once you get past the first turn, always remember to do your research, because research is important. Okay, we'll go with that. Like I said, with all these opening researches on both the military and the society, The only one I would say you can kind of leave a bit is aquatic. If you're not near water, you won't need that unless you're very near the water straight away. So the others have all got benefits. We'll go with that one. No, we apparently didn't go with that one. Oh, I think we've already got that one actually, okay. Yeah, for some reason we've already got that, maybe we started with that one anyway. So there we are. We're going to attack this bug thing. Okay. Yeah, I like I said early on, when you know you've got a reasonably strong army, any of these kind of 3-unit alien marauders, they'll be pretty simple to kill, and you can just auto combat them all. Help you level up a little bit, and you might get some resources or some. Yeah, we got a new colonist, which I'll send to the colony, and I don't worry about managing the colony because that is too hands-on for me. In some games I would. There's games where I would go into colonies, depending on what the game is I don't know, like Surviving the Aftermath, which I played a while ago, but I played it quite a lot, and there it's much more relevant because that's much more into the colony management level anyway. That's a whole part of the game. Whereas in this, I would say that like conquest and army building is the part of the game I concentrate on. It's more of a part than in some of those kind of colony building games, so I let the AI sort out my colonists. Okay, so we have another scout thing. I'm going to call that a scout thing because it kind of is. For us, for our purposes it is. So we'll go there. We could build a forward base, and that's like obviously a water thing. So we could build a naval base. We need to require. Well, we can't do it yet, but we may. The other thing when you see lakes or sea, as with any game, I think I remember doing this in Age of Empires many years ago, is to always check how big the sea is. I remember in Age of Empires, I used to get this kind of bit, you'd see just the coast bit because there was a fog of war, and I'd build a really good harbour, and then I'd find that it was a very small lake and it ended there, and so I had all my ships stuck in this small lake with no way to move them. So it's a thing I learned many years ago, always check how big your sea area is and whether it's got access to other areas before you start worrying about whether you can use it as a military base, or in Age of Empires there used to be a fishing base as well. Okay, so that's that. Now we can build in our, see, I did that thing, which is really easy to do, where you click on your army and bring it back, or you've still clicked on your army and bring it back. Anyway, so now we're going to build something here. I'm going to build a recreational dome, but it adds happiness and it will help us expand. Military infrastructure is important, but we're not going to be attacked yet, he said, famous last words. Okay, that's everything, I think. Having played this game quite a lot now in different modes, and in my Galactic Empire and in this kind of random mode a few times, including for the little series of videos I did. I actually played on a bit from that afterwards. It's definitely a game that has kind of different parts to it. I don't mean in the context of now. What I mean is there is a very noticeable kind of curve to where you're doing this part at the beginning and basically you're just running around expanding, researching, fighting very basic marauders, and you really can't get to the other player factions at this time anyway. It's sometimes very hard to find them actually, especially if you're playing on quite a big map. And you wouldn't want to, even if you did, you wouldn't want to be going all the way, say, across there somewhere to fight somebody. unless you've got a massive army, and that's going to take time to develop, and you need to do the research and but then it gets to a point where you suddenly end up in a lot of conflicts at the same time. That could happen suddenly, almost like overnight. You're kind of okay, and you're kind of friendly with everybody, and then suddenly one of them will attack you, and then they'll join forces and make an alliance with somebody else, and they'll be attacking you, and it can all happen very quickly. And I've noticed that it's one of those games where it's not easy to single out an enemy to attack. You'll think, okay, I'm going to attack that enemy, I've kind of done some espionage on them, and I'm going to just attack that one. But actually, when it gets nearer the time, they'll probably have made an alliance with somebody. I think I can go that way now. They'll have made an alliance with somebody, they'll already have decided they don't like you, and then at that moment when you're attacking or they're attacking you, the other AI players, what will suddenly happen is the NPC factions will suddenly decide that you've not done enough quests for them, or that's another thing they do, they'll ask for quests, and at a certain point they'll suddenly start asking for sectors, and you won't really want to be giving them sectors. So it's very easy to think you're on good terms with the NPC factions, and then suddenly you're not, and it will all happen at the same kind of time. So then suddenly you're fighting NPC factions, and you're fighting the AI players, and I can tell you now, it's almost like you need to be spamming building up armies, because they will have endless amounts of armies. I think the AI kind of what they do is they just they seem to just concentrate on making more and more different soldiers. So they'll have endless units, and although you think you've leveled up and you've got like 4 or 5 really good armies, that won't last long. So yeah, anyway, it's just the thing I've noticed in this game. I think we've done all the things we can, and it's very hard. Like I said, I played this on to the kind of conclusion of a planet in the context that I realised I was going to lose. I've not actually conquered a planet yet, but I think that's actually quite difficult. Okay, Paragon, you whatever, do what you want. You'll ask us to do something soon anyway, but it's very hard to anticipate, even knowing what I know. And I've done this a few times now. I think, okay, I'm going to concentrate on building up an army, I'm going to get tech, but actually it's still not enough, because you'll end up fighting, often more than one AI player at the same time, an NPC. But even if you fight one, they'll seem to have endless amounts of army, and I'm not sure why, because I've looked at their amount of settlements in the wars, and they don't seem to have any more than me, so they shouldn't be able to have any bigger army, and you have to pay for your armies, and you have to research the things you want, and you have to have upkeep and everything, but they seem to, for some reason, have a lot. But anyway, it's what it is. So it's always worth picking up these 3 grabs, because there's no harm. At some point, as you've seen, if you've seen the other videos I did, or as you'll guess anyway, these scouts we send out will get killed because some random marauder will just decide to attack. So you might as well pick up what you can when you can. But always be careful when you're going to click on what looks like a stash. Make sure you're close enough to work out there's no aliens actually on it, because then they'll kill you. Okay, so we've established this okay, we found another AI player. He's assembly, which is us. Actually, Synthesis is another faction in this game, which I said at the beginning, we're not Synthesis, but we look like we should be. Anyway, I suppose assembly, because we assemble ourselves, but so show where we met is just kind of useful, because you know where they kind of come from, but bearing in mind we know where we are, it's not going to show you a great deal. There's no point in being rude, I don't see any point to be particularly nice, and we'll just, we know where we met them now. That's good to know. So like there, that's a stash, but until you get nearer, you wouldn't know these aliens, if there's aliens on it, or marauders, so. Okay, now we're here. We will go and, with the idea of attacking that marauder. It's worth killing the marauders, these little bands. Number one, you get different like bonuses, you can take over little facilities, and also these annoying little marauders, when they can, you know, they can come and attack your forward bases, and if you've got a small army going to join another army, they can attack them, and they can still cause you annoyance. So if you have them in your, you know, sectors and they're small enough to just wipe out, just get rid of them. More will probably come in, but it also helps levelling up, so let's just... Okay, message from the Paragon Factor. Let me guess that they want something. What do they want? Yeah, we'll go and kill something. We will say yes, because as I said, the more times you say yes, it means later on you can say no a few times, and that will prevent war. But you can't prevent war with these, because these NPC factions, at some point they'll start demanding sectors, or they'll demand much too much resources to what you can give them. So it's putting off the inevitable, but at the moment we'll do it, because we wouldn't mind doing those little battles to level up. Where is it? Let's see if we can find out where that is. It's over there. So okay, they're not a big army, and we were going that way anyway. It's often helpful when you pick one of those quests for the NPC factions, and often there'll be two NPC factions giving you quests. Especially early on when you've got few armies, always check where the, which I didn't actually, but always check where the quest is, because you have limited time. I know it says these 10 turns, but that can go quickly. And if I was, for example, if I'd been going that way with my main army and the quest was here, that's a lot of turns to get there, and that's also a lot of turns while my only real army is walking along from that side of the map to this side just to do this small quest. So always check, because sometimes they can almost be impossible. You know, you can have all your armies can be in one place, or they can be busy, and you can find the quest is so far away that it's going to be difficult. Or another thing you can check is it will tell you what the size of the enemy army is, and sometimes you may find that they're pretty small, and you can send a small army, you can make a new army just to do it. Other times you might find it's really big and you'll need to send two armies, or you might want to skip it. So they all have different possibilities. Yeah, as I said in another video, the one thing, and I'll harp onto this again and probably again in different little videos while I make this little series, is the one thing I think this game lacks is a bit of character building around your empire and your leaders, because it hasn't got, it's a good mix of kind of a turn-based and a civilization building game in many ways. But if you think back, and if any of you have played any of the Total War series, and going right back to Rome Total War, the first one, where all your family, each one of those generals had retainers, and they had traits, minus traits, good traits, they had family, they had kids that could be generals, or you could decide to promote different generals to become your house leader, and that all added to the fact that there was other things going on. And in this, I think I said this in the first video a few times, and I'll say it again because I think it's a big part of what this game is missing. It's a shame that your faction is just some people that are leaders. Yes, you can make them what you want at the beginning, but then they just become what they are. Like, yeah, they get traits, but they don't have families, they don't have any characters that build on them, they don't have negative or minus characteristics, they don't have families, they don't really have any personalities other than they have got these traits which are like battle traits. And so, and the same with your actual leader, there's no descent to like, this is going to be my descendant, this is my lineage, this is my son. And Rome Total War was doing that with a kind of similar turn-based civilization building game many years ago. So, and that's not to say all turn-based games need to have that, or all civilization games need to have that, but this game isn't really completely focused on turn-based, I'm just going to take the next turn, turn-based combat, because it's got the civilization building, but it's not really a civilization building game in the sense of something like Civ, obviously, or Age of Empires, where they're much more civilization building. And because it's mixed, it would really help it, because you've got all these parts in game, like now, where all you're really doing is building your research, building your army, and going around the map killing things. And okay, you can find new things, there's quite a lot of new things to find, but it would be so nice if, for example, this general could attack that and then gain a trait of bold or cowardly, and then maybe this general, I know they're in this situation they're kind of Borg like androids, but if they could have like a retinue of people in their immediate service, maybe one of them would be important, maybe one of those would be someone they could take with them, as in Run Total War, maybe they would have someone they would promote in their house to become the next general. And it would be good if you could have that aspect. Also, it would be kind of nice, again, if any of these would be good, they don't have to have all of them, but maybe if the units, instead of just levelling up and you can add mods on them, again, if a unit could be promoted to be a leader instead of you just picking up these random leaders, that would be good. I wouldn't necessarily say you need to have more leaders or less leaders. I get why there's a limited amount, but if you could maybe level up a unit to become a leader, so at least at the beginning you could like level one of your units up to become a leader, not just pick up these random leaders. There's lots of little bits where I think a lot of this game is just this kind of going around and exploring, killing. And I was thinking back to, again, Rome Total War and medieval Total War and all those, even the first Shogun Total War game and those kind of games, because they had so much going on with your family and kind of politics. No, let's not trespass, we won't do that. We know we're one of the AR factions, though, anyway. Yeah, because you had so many things going on, even the very first Total War Shogun game. With the diplomacy side, there was other things going on, and then once you got to Rome Total War, there was always things going on with the faction and with your generals and their family, and there was diseases that could kill them, and there were lots of things that happened. So although in a sense you were doing the same thing as in this game, just kind of going around to different areas and killing and taking over and finding out what's there, there was always that background of other things. And a big part of that game was the behind the scenes thing with your generals, and it was even good the way they used to, if you ever played that game, the way their portraits used to age and their families aged and their wives died. You could look at your family trees. I know this isn't that kind of game, but it would be helpful if it had that something like that in it, rather than just this kind of endless moving around the map. Because we're going to go that way, because I'm going to end up doing that pretty soon. Because what you're really basically doing in this then is going round and round, having battles and kind of building up to the end without that much kind of else mid-game. The early game is fun because you're kind of expanding your knowledge of the planet. You don't know anything, but once you get to a large part of the map that you've explored, the mid-game is kind of a lot of just building up your army and kind of either deciding to attack or waiting to be attacked. And like I said, as there's no politics really, other than you can make alliances, but it's not the same in-depth kind of thing, and your leaders, other than yourself, are literally just leaders. They don't have any part to play other than in the army. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we will do a bit of research. You'll get to know, and I kind of know now, you'll get to know what some of these things do and which ones are slightly better. You may want to aim, there's always one somewhere later on that's got a new unit, and I tend to always try and pick the one with the new unit unless I know for sure I don't want that unit or it's not good, but I'm not to that point yet. So Shredder Bomb, sound good. I'm going to go for Aquatic Development because it's only one turn, and we seem to have found quite a bit of aqua, so we'll do that. Okay. I'm going to try to keep these videos relatively short. I'm sure this hasn't exactly been short already, but so what I'm going to do is I'll just set up some new research. Because that last research was very quick. We've done all the first line research now. And these ones are pretty, you can see what they are. So you've got the kind of more military focused things, and then you've got the food, energy, research. I would always suggest you either do, and this is just from my personal experience, research or energy, because I've never found a lack of production, I've never found a lack of food. I'm sure that can happen, but I've never found those. So I would either do that or that. I'll go for research. So what I'm going to do is I will end this video now. I think I've spoken quite a lot about the beginning setup and also about some of the parts of this game that I would probably change. But like I said, overall it's very solid. And I'll come back to this exact point in the next video. In the meantime, take care, and from Guessagaingaming and myself, have a great day.